Don't move! You ain't tased! Taser, taser, taser! Taser, taser! Don't move! Don't move! Stop right there! Get on your stomach! Get on your stomach!
I will!
Control me, show one. Give me red. Don't move me! Go on your stomach! Get 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 on your stomach! Do it now!
Okay, sir.
Get on your stomach!
I will.
Stop! You didn't get it again! You didn't get it! Help me out!
No. Turn around. Turn around.
Down!
Okay, sir. Okay.
Turn around! Don't move!
Okay. Down. Hands on your stomach. Right there.
Get on your stomach!
Hands.
Get on your stomach!
Here, give me his hand.
Get on your stomach! Get on your stomach! Get on your stomach! You see your hands!
Get your fucking hands behind your back.
Is he out? Is he out? Is he out yet?
Go ahead. Let him go, Ken.
Sure?
Yep.
Roll him to, hold on! Don't grab my fucking legs!
We're on top of him.
Roll him to the other side. Get the other arm too. You got the other one?
Oh, yeah, I got him on. Somebody grab his left arm.
Tom, stand by. You said the carjack somebody.
So good afternoon, I'm Under Sheriff Kevin McMahill, and I'm going to give you the details as we know them today regarding the in-custody death that took place this past Saturday night. The date and time of the call occurred on May 14th, 2017 at 00:54 hours. The initial call was a person stop generated by the officer. The location of the call, as you can see on the screen to my left, was at the Venetian Hotel, located at 3355 Las Vegas Boulevard South. Our involved officer in this incident is Kenneth Lopera, and that's spelled L-O-P-E-R-A. He's 31 years old. He's been with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for the last 5 years. He's currently assigned to the Tourist Safety Division in the Convention Center Area Command. Officer Lopera was wearing a body-worn camera during this incident, and I will be showing you that video. Suspect in this case is Tashi, and I'll spell Tashi as T-A-S-H-I-I, last name Farmer. He is 40 years old, black male adult, 6 foot, 195 pounds. Farmer's charges. At the present time, the Force Investigation Team has concluded that there are no applicable charges that would have been levied against Mr. Farmer had he survived this incident. The officer said he believed that Farmer was attempting to carjack a vehicle. This conclusion was arrived at after the initial review of all the video surveillance, to include the body-worn camera footage and consideration from all witness statements that were provided. On the screen to my left again is the criminal history for Farmer, and as you can see, a couple of DUIs, 1996 in Hawaii, a robbery in 1999. There was an attempted murder charge in Hawaii in 2001. It was amended to a criminal property damage, but he had served a lengthy prison sentence, and we're still investigating that. parole violation in Hawaii in 2009, as well as an assault. And the most current arrest was a DUI in 2016 here in Nevada. The details of this incident are on Sunday, May 14th, 2017, at approximately 12:50 a.m., Farmer approached Officer Lopera and his partner at a coffee shop inside the Venetian Hotel. Farmer appeared to be sweating heavily, looked panicked, and told the officer that people were chasing him. Officer Lopera attempted to talk to Farmer to try to help him. Farmer immediately began trying to get away from Officer Lopera through a set of open doors into an employee-only area of the hotel. Officer Lopera immediately initiated a foot pursuit of Farmer down the corridor, but lost sight of him. Officer Lopera eventually caught up to Farmer outside of the hotel in a roadway on the property after being directed there by a security officer. Officer Lopera said on his body-worn camera that Farmer was attempting to open the tailgate of an occupied truck, but that he was unsuccessful in doing so. Farmer ran around to the driver's side of the truck, and as Farmer approached the driver's side door, Officer Lopera believed Farmer was attempting to carjack the driver. He deployed his taser and he told Farmer that he was going to tase him. Officer Lopera discharged his taser, successfully striking Farmer in the back and gaining what's called NMI, or neuromuscular incapacitation, for the standard 5-second cycle with the electronic control device. Farmer went to the ground, and Officer Lopera gave him commands to roll onto his stomach. Officer Lopera applied the taser again. In totality, Officer Lopera applied his taser a total of 7 times during this incident. On the body-worn camera, Officer Lopera can be heard calling for help, at which point the Venetian security converged and attempted to help Officer Lopera gain control of Farmer. During the struggle on the ground, Farmer can be seen attempting to pull the taser probe from his back. Officer Lopera holstered his taser and transitioned into delivering several strikes with his hands to Farmer's head and face area while Farmer is still lying on the ground. He continued to give him verbal commands to lay on his stomach. Farmer continued to struggle, and Officer Lopera applied what he referred to in his body-worn camera as a, quote, rear naked choke, unquote, to Farmer. Officer Lopera applied the neck restraint for over 1 minute, then released it when additional officers arrived on scene to assist in handcuffing Farmer. Medical attention was requested by the arriving officers. Officers on scene rendered aid to Farmer when it was realized he wasn't breathing. CPR chest compressions were administered by an LVMPD officer until paramedics arrived. Farmer was transported to Sunrise Trauma Center and was pronounced deceased at 1:39 a.m. I'm now going to play the body-worn camera for you of Officer Lopera. There's a couple of different versions of camera here that I'm going to play for you, and it's very important for you to pay attention to this video, the body-worn camera video, as it does not clearly capture the strikes by Officer Lopera or the application of the neck restraint. I make this point to you because in the next, that while the body-worn camera does not capture all of the actions, the next video I play for you will show all of the action. So this video that you're going to see here is the body-worn camera worn by Officer Lopera. This is initial contact. Y'all remember the sound doesn't start until 30 seconds after the camera's activated.
Is somebody running? Stop! Don't move! You're in tase! Taser! 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 Don't move! Don't move! Stop right there! Get on your stomach! Get on your stomach!
I will.
Control me, one. Give me red. Don't move me. Go on your stomach. Get 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 on your stomach. Do it now.
Okay, sir.
Get on your stomach.
I will.
Stop. You didn't get it again. You didn't get it. Help me out.
No. Please, turn around. Turn around.
Down.
Okay, sir. Okay, turn
Get on, move.
around.
Don't move.
Okay, down. Hands on your stomach. Right there.
Get on your stomach.
Hands.
Get on your stomach.
Here, give me his hand.
Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. You see your head.
Get your fucking hands behind your back.
Is he out? Is he out? Is he out yet?
Go ahead. Let him go, Ken.
Sure?
Yep.
Roll him to, hold on! Don't grab my fucking legs!
We're on top of him.
Roll him to the other side. Get the other arm too. You got the other one?
Yeah, I got him on. Somebody grab his left arm.
Come, stand by. You said to carjack somebody.
So as you watch that video, you can't see any of the strikes the officer delivers, nor can you see him actually encircle with the neck restraint. And so the next video I play for you is captured from the surveillance video at the Venetian. I am going to play it for you from the point that the camera caught the incident. You will be able to clearly see the strikes by the officer as well as the movement into the neck restraint. You will also see several security personnel attempting to assist the officer prior to the arrival of the other LVMPD officers. So they'll zoom in here in just a moment. So the officer is in the green uniform. You see the strikes. Now he moves into the neck restraint. So as you can clearly see from both of those videos, the body-worn camera doesn't capture all of the details. That one captures some additional. What the fit detectors are trying to do right now as we speak is try to put the audio with the same actions that they see on that particular video. I know there's additional video out there that has been released to a variety of different news organizations, and we're still trying to get our hands on all of that video to adequately investigate this. The next video that I'm going to play for you is an overhead video captured by the Venetian that shows farmer near the rear of the truck and subsequent movement towards the driver's side. It is important to note that our fit detectives have located the owner of this truck, who provided them with a statement. The driver of the vehicle said he did not believe that the suspect was attempting to carjack him. This is very difficult to see. You'll see just sort of a dark shape as the white truck pulls up here. It's a very brief video as well. So Carlos. Here's the white truck, and you'll see him emerge down here, right there. That's the officer approaching, and that's when the initial tasing happened that I showed you moments ago. I did want to address a couple of issues. There is media reporting that the LVMPD officers did not provide medical attention to Farmer for over 10 minutes, and that's simply not true. On the screen, I put an overhead of the timeline of medical intervention, indicating Farmer being set up and checked at 0058 hours. From 0101 to 0104 hours, officers conducted a pat-down for weapons, checked for pulse and breathing, and found Farmer still had a faint pulse and breathing. At 0105 hours, an LVMPD officer began administering CPR when the pulse and breathing ceased. At 0106 hours, the Clark County Fire Department arrives, and at 0108 hours, Medic West arrives and assumes medical care. I'm also going to show you a couple of still shots depicting this activity from the Venetian videos. That's where the officer is doing CPR. I think there's one more. So they're rendering care to him almost immediately. A couple of other issues as it relates to the training and policy of LVMPD that I want to put on the record. In regards to the Taser application, our policy says that the officer must evaluate the need to apply each individual administration of the 5-second Taser cycle. Each application stands on its own and must meet the objectively reasonable standard as set out by Graham versus Connor. We'll go into a couple of these props that we have here in just a moment, but on the ground here is the Graham versus Connor standards, and on the board here is our use of force model. The policy further states that once the suspect has been exposed to 3 cycles of the Taser or electronic control device, it shall be deemed ineffective unless exigent circumstances exist. Officers are taught to transition to another tool. Officers are also trained that if a suspect experiences difficulty breathing, they're to place the suspect on their side to reduce the risk of aspiration. In the case of empty hand strikes in this case fall into our intermediate level of force. You see that on this chart here. In this level of force, however, I want you to know that officers must be able to articulate the suspect is attempting to cause harm to them or another person. If intermediate force is used, it is defined as having the potential to cause injury or substantial pain and is greater than the low-level force. It is important for you to know that this same level of force applies both to the electronic control device or Taser and as an appropriate application of the lateral vascular neck restraint, depending upon the level used. To the lateral vascular neck restraint, it is a technique to apply a specific application of pressure to the sides of a suspect's neck to overcome resistance and allow control. This technique does not restrict air supply to the subject and is applied to the sides of the neck, not the windpipe, to restrict blood flow. The LVNR is a control technique in which the carotid arteries on the sides of the neck are compressed, restricting blood flow to the brain, causing the subject to pass out. In our policy, there are 3 levels of the lateral vascular neck restraint. minimum, where the rear elbow is at a 0 degree, medium, where it moves up to 20 degrees, which changes both the pressure and the angle applied to the subject, and the maximum, where it moves to 45 degrees. Officers are trained to apply the amount of force necessary to bring the suspect under control. The pressure is to be relaxed when compliance is gained. Under ideal conditions and proper technique, the suspect can usually be brought into compliance within 4 to 7 seconds. As you move into level 2 or 3 of the LVNR, it is particularly effective against suspects who refuse to submit, are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or the suspect possesses tremendous strength or resistance to pain. If a suspect is rendered unconscious by the LVNR, officers are trained to revive the suspect via palm strikes to the back. If the suspect does not regain consciousness within 30 seconds, officers are required to request medical attention to be expedited. I want to reiterate that the rear naked choke is not a technique taught by or approved by the LVMPD. The technique employed by the LVMPD and approved is the lateral vascular neck restraint. I understand the concern in this community with this in custody death, and I and we share that concern. The coroner has been provided all videos that were provided to FIT, the Force Investigation Team, and related evidence and interviews to assist with their determination of cause and manner of death. We are awaiting toxicology results, and as you know, that normally takes 6 to 8 weeks. I have provided a handout to again describe to you that are not familiar with it the investigative process that we follow for all officer-involved shootings. This death is being handled in exactly the same manner. The case will be submitted to the District Attorney's Office for their review. I have an ask of you and the community as I stand in front of you today. I'm asking for your calm and your patience. In the past 5 years, the LVMPD has shown you all available evidence to include body-worn camera footage, photos, radio traffic in all fatal and non-fatal shootings. We have shown that we truly believe that transparency and accountability are vital to retaining the trust of our community. This case is no different. The FIT detectives are working diligently along with the District Attorney's Office to review this case in its entirety. Each individual ECD application, strike, and neck restraint are being scrutinized to ensure all the facts are gathered and presented to the District Attorney. We will move through this case through the process as outlined in the handout, and we will provide you additional information as well as to the community as appropriate when it comes available.
Disturbing video shows cops taser and choke innocent man to death. Las Vegas NV, RT, a video shows Las Vegas police officers using excessive force against an unarmed man. Several officers attacked the victim, while he was tossed several times and put in an unapproved chokehold. Had he survived, he would have faced no criminal charges. The man, identified as 40-year-old Tashi Farmer, died in custody on May 14, but the video clearly showing the details of the incident has only recently been released. An officer's body camera video, as well as outside security camera footage, feature the chase and attack on the unarmed man. At first, Farmer is seen running from a police officer, later identified as Kenneth Lopera, and approaching a white pickup when the first stun gunshot comes. Lopera was trying to prevent Farmer from carrying out what he believed was a carjacking, according to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, LVMPD, statement. However, the driver then said that he did not suspect those intentions, Review Journal reports. Image, http://pixel.watch/QT7. Farmer is then seen lying on the ground as the policeman is heard yelling, "Don't move. Get on your stomach." While the man cried out, "I will," still lying on the ground and attempting to pull the taser probe out of his back, he was struck several more times. The stun gun was used 7 times in total during the incident, according to police. During the tussle on the ground, Lopera, assisted by up to 3 other officers, also punched Farmer in the face and head. As the victim continued to struggle, the policeman applied a rear naked choke, a martial arts tactic which is not approved by police authorities, the LVMPD statement says. Read more. Officer who killed 95-year-old World War II vet because he refused medical treatment found not guilty. The neck hold is not seen on the body camera footage, but it was better captured by the outside camera. 3 people are seen assisting the officer during the attack on Farmer, who are subsequently replaced by 3 arriving police officers. Emergency services were called to the scene, when it was realized Hitachi Farmer wasn't breathing, according to the LVMPD. Some 40 minutes after the incident, Farmer was declared dead at the Sunrise Trauma Center. The official cause of the death has not been announced so far. Farmer had a criminal history, including arrests for robbery, theft, and attempted murder, and a conviction for criminal property damage. He was released from prison in January 2016. At the present time, the Force Investigation Team has concluded that there are no applicable charges that would have been levied against Farmer had he survived the incident, LVMPD Undersheriff Kevin McMahill said during at a news conference. The victim's mother, Trinita Farmer, said she couldn't watch the released video. "I don't want to look. I just want to bury my son," she is cited as saying by AP. The LVMPD is currently carrying out an investigation into the incident and Lopera's use of force, while the officer has been put on paid leave.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day, I mean, $1 a month on Patreon or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.